What are the costs associated with home ownership that people perhaps, don't talk about?
Oh, how long do you have? As a homeowner, the costs just keep coming and surprising you. So I think most people often think of the down payment and the mortgage payments. That is the tip of the iceberg. There is the property taxes, there's utilities, there is maintenance. I have to get a new fence next summer. Like the roof, that everything always breaks down right when you think you have your whole financial situation covered. Something breaks down that you have to replace. And there's no landlord to call for them to pick up the bill as you would do as a renter. You are responsible for everything. So when I talk to people, I say when you're crafting your budget and you want to buy a home or you do own your home, the responsible thing to do is to have a special home emergency fund. Because I mean, this is my second property that I've lived in. And the first place I lived in, everything broke down in the first 2 years. It was
Oh,
very expensive. I think in the 5 years I lived there, we probably spent $30,000 to $40,000
wow.
on just, fixing things.
Let me put to you then, before I go to our caller here, Dennis, let me put to you then the argument that, okay, so yes, you might be flexible and can move anytime. You could also be evicted anytime.
That's
So
true.
that there's the lack of stability perhaps. And also, what you hear, which is where does your rent actually go? You're paying someone else's mortgage. So what do you say to
Yeah.
those arguments?
Yeah, I mean, those are fair arguments. And, that's, I think, a big reason why a lot of people do crave home ownership, that stability. But again, if you don't pay your mortgage, the bank owns your home. So there's also some instability there.
Mm,
But, there's a lot about, there's a great book I suggest everyone to read called The Wealthy Renter, which is a really great argument for, how renting can be a great way to, have that freedom, but also to build wealth. And I think the old kind of argument that you're throwing your money away with rent, whereas you could be building equity buying a home, it was kind of under the assumption that you were just investing in that home. And saw that a lot, or continue to see this a lot with the older generations, especially baby boomers. They put everything into their home and they don't have too much maybe in their TFSA, their RRSP. Whereas when you're a renter and maybe you're spending less because your costs are lower and you have that flexibility, guess what? You have a lot of extra cash flow, hopefully, that you can put towards your investments that, isn't locked into a home. And, the other thing too is we're seeing a lot of older people retire and their home is their retirement. And the only real way to liquidate that money, to get access to that investment, is to sell or to maybe do something like a reverse mortgage. And most people don't want to leave the home they've been in for many years. That's their home. They want to
mm.
stay.